Oh, what's up gamers? We're just playing Ocarina of Time on my Nintendo 64. So I told you guys in December I was going to make new series, and this one right here is one of them. It's called Steam Clean. And Steam Clean is going to be me making gameplay videos of games that are way out of date and that no one's really watching anymore. I've bought a ton of games on Steam over the past 5 years of summer and winter sales, always telling myself I'm going to play through this, it's going to be a ton of fun, I'm going to love the nostalgia, and then I never end up actually playing them. I get maybe 1 or 2 hours out of it, and then it's collecting dust on my hard drive until eventually it's uninstalled a few months later to install the newest Call of Duty or Rocket League update or whatever. So, I'm making a commitment to myself to play through these games, and the only way I could do that was to actually make the playing also work, so I can kind of justify it. I don't have a ton of time to game anymore due to responsibility, so I thought this would be a nice way to kind of mix the two of my passions of not rotting away my life and also rotting away my life for pleasure. So, without further ado, I'd like to We'll get it. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to the potential games for Steam Clean. Enjoy. The Binding of Isaac. The Binding of Isaac is a roguelike dungeon crawler released in 2011. The game is inspired by the biblical story of the same name, The Binding of Isaac, where Isaac's mother receives a message from God demanding his life to prove her faith. Isaac, fearing for his life, flees to the basement of their home, where he encounters endless monsters and bosses, as he collects power-ups to eventually confront his mother. With randomly generated dungeons each attempt, the game offers a huge potential for replayability, as you continuously discover new secrets in the basement. After being hooked on Hades last year and a love of other roguelikes such as Slay the Spire and Spelunky, I'm excited to explore what Isaac has to offer and experience the critically acclaimed game for myself.
Brutal Legend.
Released in 2009, Brutal Legend is a heavy metal-filled action-adventure with hints of real-time strategy. The game follows Eddie Riggs, voiced and modeled after Jack Black, a roadie transported into a fantasy world inspired by the artwork of heavy metal album covers. Using his battle axe and flying V guitar, Eddie leads the struggling humans to reclaim their world from the supernatural overlords. In the brief time I've spent with the game, it was filled with action-packed battles, as well as a compelling and comedic story. The humor alone has made me want to pick the game back up and see where the story goes, and the smooth gameplay is merely icing on the cake. Dark Souls 3. The third installment of the punishing Dark Souls series, released in 2016, is also the only one I've experienced with. For those unfamiliar, Dark Souls is a third-person action RPG known for its brutal and unforgiving difficulty. The game takes place in the Kingdom of Lothric, and honestly, beyond that, the lore is pretty lost on me. What I can tell you, though, is that there are a variety of menacing bosses you are tasked with defeating, and spend much of the game trying to reach them, again and again and again, as you are guaranteed to face crushing defeats while you perfect the tactics required to defeat them. While I died many times on my way through the first couple bosses, the satisfaction I received from defeating them after so many attempts is what kept me playing. After 3 years away, I'm ready for the challenge again, and I'm confident in my abilities that I'll get to see the remaining bosses the game has to offer. Dishonored. Dishonored is a first-person action-adventure game released in 2012. What sets the game apart from typical first-person shooters is the emphasis on player choice. The game centers on Corvo Attano, the bodyguard of the Empress of Isles. Corvo is framed for her murder and must resort to becoming an assassin to hunt her killers and those who conspired against him. Given a variety of tools and abilities to employ, the player can complete missions in whatever way they deem fit. Want to go berserk and kill everyone? Sure. Sneak around and take out the targets non-lethally? Absolutely. Both? Yeah, why not both? This game is sure to inspire my creativity and lead to a unique experience for everyone. With rave reviews coming from both my friends and critics, it has made me want to give this game another chance. Like many games on this list, the creativity you get within each level, and the freedom to play the game you want to play, has me itching to jump back in and kill those bastards that framed me. Hitman II. The sequel to 2016's reboot, Hitman, this 2018 stealth game continues Agent 47's quest to track down the Shadow Client before they disrupt the world order. The game takes place in large sandbox maps, giving the players the freedom to eliminate targets in a variety of ways, from making the deaths look like an accident to straight up blasting. Much like Dishonored, the game rewards creativity and exploration, as you find the most efficient ways to eliminate the targets. I've played a handful of levels in Hitman 2 already, and always told myself I would sit down and spend the time to explore each environment and all the clever ways you can complete them. The game has so much to offer, I'm sure it will suck me right back in. Hotline Miami 2. Wrong number. A 2015 top-down shooter continuing the story of the first game. I'll be honest, I don't know much about this one. Even after reading the wiki, I'm not too sure on the plot, but what I can tell you is the game is a fast-paced, thrilling shoot-'em-up focused on well-executed plans and utilizing each character's weapons and abilities to the fullest to ensure no one walks away alive. This game will be a fun ride for both the player and the spectator, featuring flashy visuals and a heart-pumping soundtrack. I heard of this game through another, Payday 2, and really haven't spent more than a few minutes playing it. However, the combination of an exciting soundtrack and quick gameplay has enticed me to keep this game on my system. The Long Dark. The Long Dark is a 2017 first-person survival game that has the player braving the frigid Canadian wilderness after a geomatic storm has caused their plane to crash. Players will need to find food, water, shelter, and heat, while also keeping an eye out for hungry predators trying to survive themselves. I would be playing through the story mode that features episodic levels as the players uncover the mysteries of their plane crash. The game also features a survival mode, where players can choose a starting region and survive as long as possible by scavenging the wilderness for anything of value. In the past, I've made it partially through Chapter 1, only to quit after finding it too difficult. But with a newfound mental toughness, I'm excited to dive back in and brave the wilderness.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor is a 2014 action-adventure game based in the fantasy world of Middle-earth, created by J.R.R. Tolkien. The game follows Talion on a quest taking place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogy. As a Gondorian ranger who finds himself bound to the wraith of Elflord Celebrimbor, you set out to avenge the deaths of their loved ones. The game takes place in an open world, and as the player completes quests, the innovative Nemesis system creates unique encounters with the orcs of Middle-earth, guaranteeing a different experience for all. The AI system allows the enemies to recall past encounters with the player, sparking creative dialogue and rivalries that span the game's story. I've attempted to start this game a few times, always being distracted by the hot new multiplayer games and forgetting any progress I have made. That being said, I'm ready to put my focus solely on Shadow of Mordor and see all the game has to offer. Outer Wilds! Outer Wilds is a 2019, wait for it, action-adventure game set in a fictional solar system. The game world is abruptly destroyed after 22 minutes due to a star going supernova. The player is then awoken at the start, with new knowledge gained, and must continually explore new locations within the time frame before destruction, piecing together the mystery of this solar system. This game has been on my radar since it released, and while I've played a couple hours over the past year, I'm eager to sit down and invest more time to explore all the planets it has to offer and discover the secrets of this time-looping solar system. Papers, please. Papers, Please may be the most unique game on the list. Released in 2013, it is a puzzle simulation game based in the fictional country of Artzoka. You play as an immigration inspector at the border and are tasked with checking passports of incoming migrants. As the days go on, the restrictions at the border change daily, forcing players to thoroughly inspect each passport to ensure no restricted or illegal immigrants pass the checkpoint. On top of the stressful time limit you get each day, you must also ensure you check enough passports to make the money needed to feed and warm your family. The game is very intimidating to me, and each time I pick it up, I end up backing away due to fear of failure. Now that I'm willing to let myself fail, I'm ready to give this game another chance, and see if I can progress further than the 3 days I usually get to. This was one of the first games I purchased on Steam, and it deserves to be completed.
Prey.
Prey is a first-person adventure shooter released in 2017. The game centers on Morgan Yu, An astronaut and scientist trapped alone in an environment with shape-shifting aliens that can take the form of everyday objects scattered around the world. I will save a detailed explanation of the plot to avoid spoilers for those who have not experienced the early world building of the game, and also to avoid reading any spoilers myself. I've put about 6 hours into this game over the last 2 years, only to have my save corrupted and tragically lost. I've been meaning to restart and explore once again, to discover what has happened to the other humans and how to defeat the alien threat. From the time I've played, I know this is a wonderful game with a captivating story and immersive environment.
Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7 is, you guessed it, the 7th installment of the Resident Evil series. Released in 2017, the game leaves the third-person, action-oriented gameplay of the previous Resident Evil games behind for a more survival horror-based, first-person experience. You play as Ethan Winters as he searches for his missing wife in an abandoned plantation, currently home to an infected family. I gotta admit, I'm a coward when it comes to horror. I watch scary movies with the lights on and the sound off. That being said, I'm also incredibly intrigued by horror and the atmosphere of scary games. I played through the demo of Resident Evil 7 and reached a point where I was too scared to continue. If you'd like to see me scared to my wit's end, this may, it will be the game for that. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the third installment of the rebooted Tomb Raider franchise, released in 2018. You play as the titular Lara Croft on an adventure to the tropical Americas as she tries to stop the Mayan apocalypse that she herself started. The game is action-packed and is as exciting to watch as it is to play. I picked up this game after making my way through the Uncharted series and was eager for more Indiana Jones style adventures. If you're worried about not being filled in on the plot from the past 2 games, have no fear. I have no clue what happened either. The story is primarily standalone from what I gathered, and past knowledge is not needed to enjoy the experience. Subnautica. Subnautica is an open-world survival action-adventure game. Whew. Released in 2018. You can really tell what kind of genres I like to play. What sets Subnautica apart from most survival games is the fact that it predominantly takes place underwater. After your ship crashes on an alien planet, you're tasked with collecting resources to build shelter and gather intel on the planet and lost survivors. Whilst the game features beautiful underwater scenery and pleasant sea creatures, there is also a mixture of the fears of open ocean and the vulnerability to larger prey as you stray further and further from safety. I've recently started my journey in Subnautica in November and was instantly sucked into the world you get to explore. I've barely scratched the surface and I'm excited to see what else lies at the bottom of the ocean. XCOM, Enemy Unknown. And last but not least, we have XCOM, Enemy Unknown, an a turn-based tactical shooter released in 2012. Set in an alternate 2015, you control an elite international paramilitary organization called XCOM in the midst of an alien invasion. You command your team from above as you tactically flank and eliminate alien targets and collect new technology from their bodies. You build up a camaraderie with your team members as you execute missions, careful not to lose anyone as there are no second chances in XCOM. I've completed a handful of tutorial missions since purchasing, but have yet to dive deep into the game and really test out the ideal strategies to complete each mission. The game was well received and has a sequel released with another in the works. This game would be a nice change from the usual FPS and action-adventure games I typically enjoy and would breathe fresh life into my gaming habits. Well, what'd you guys think? More than you expected? I could have just read off a list, sitting here reading a piece of paper, monotone, reading The Long Dark, Resident Evil 7, but no, I wanted to spice it up, make it a good video, put in some effort. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was the list of games. I had more games on my Steam that could be potentials, but that was the list I felt would be really good playing through solo. There's other games on there like Monster Hunter World, The Forest, and Monaco that I think would work well for multiplayer games. I'm also playing through 7 Days to Die with my friends on Thursday nights. That could also be a potential for getting some group activities going. So this is just the initial list of kind of solo Let's Play games. There's a wide potential though for branching out and playing with some friends and probably getting more content out of that and lots more funny moments happening. So what you need to do is let me know in the comment section below, first off, which game intrigues you the most. Maybe even give me a couple. Give me a couple list, your top 3. I'm also going to include a poll, I hope, if I can figure out how to get it done, in the description that you can vote on. I'm going to let you vote on multiples, and then I'll just take the one with the most votes. If there's a tie, we can figure something out, I'm sure. Maybe I could play 2 games. I don't know. This is all kind of... There's not a lot of planning going into what's going to happen next week after I calculate the votes. But what I can tell you is that one of these 15 games is going to be played on a weekly basis for your entertainment. Some other things that you guys should let me know on is, first off, how long would you expect the videos to be? Do you want me to shorten them down and cut it just to like the highlights and just do 15-minute videos? Would you like long form, hour-long videos, half-hour videos? What kind of things are you looking for when you watch gameplay videos? Also, camera. Do you want to see my face while you're playing this? I've got a green screen that I want to practice with, so I could, stick myself in the corner somewhere. You can watch me react. I think that's watching my reaction is important for Let's Play videos. Or also, I could just do, like I said, the clips version and just do some commentary after. So, whatever you guys think. I know what I would like to watch, which would be probably longer form facecam videos, maybe like half-hour videos to an hour, broken up across weeks. But let me know what you think, and we'll see if we're on the same page. I might listen to you. I might just do what I think feels best for the channel. Who knows? I'm just rambling at this point. I don't really know where else we're going with this, but that's kind of my thing. If you listen to Air in Air Out, my other podcast, if you don't know who I am already from the podcast, I do that as well. Now I'm really rambling, so let me know what you think in the comments. If I think of anything else, I'll throw it in the description. I'll make a comment myself. Whatever. You guys enjoy the day, and hopefully we have an exciting series on our hands. Yeah, that's it. Take care, guys. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching too, and take care. See ya.